Oh,
Yeah.
Woo! That came in hot. Yes, sir! It's the FCS CheckDown. Nathan McCreary, Coach Ron Jackson. You got me, Coach. Last second, rushing through some things. I got
I got to do one thing.
All right, do your thing. And, Coach Ron Jackson, Nathan McCreary bringing this one to you. Week 8. We had, it was a little bit light weekend of FCS football. We had some great football. I know you got a chance to go out to North Alabama and meet Brandon Haddock, which was certainly cool. Tell me about your weekend.
Man, I had a great time. We drove down Saturday morning to Florence. We took the route through Lawrenceburg, and anyway, when we got there, I forgot it was homecoming for North Alabama. So, place we was gonna meet at, I called Brandon. And he said, well, I know another place called Swampers.
Hey-o.
So, we met at Swampers. Got to meet his 2 kids. Showed me around town. Met some fantastic fans. One of his kids' nickname is the bartender. Now I can't tell you why.
I saw the interview with the young man.
Dude, he's a hoop too. Brandon's got 2 fantastic kids. Now I didn't meet his daughter, but got to meet his 2 boys, and they 2 fantastic kids. And we had one heck of a time. So if you get a chance to go to a North Alabama game, dude, you should do it, because they have a tremendous atmosphere. Everybody's super nice. The food is super great. Now I'll tell you this: I don't know where them son of guns park.
Not the gas station or whatever.
Dude, the gas station was full.
Oh boy!
You
put your secret out there and it got taken up.
Yeah, it don't hold but about 150 cars to begin with, and I bet you there was 10,000 people at the game. So I don't know where the heck they all park. They just come walking down out of the hills, and they just keep coming. But dude, it is one more fantastic atmosphere, and I got a chance to see the where they're building the new stadium. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I saw those photos as well.
That is going to be one fantastic. Now again, they don't care where nobody parks. They got the stadium there, but they ain't no parking around there. But they'll have 15, 20,000 people at every game. It's an amazing atmosphere.
Wow. Well, you know what? North Alabama's got a great history. Obviously, Division II, they'd won national championships. I think it was the bartender kiddo who said that he knew they'd won national championships back in the 80s or 90s or whatever. Looked like a good crew. You guys were chilling underneath a tent with a bunch of North Alabama fans. Were there EKU fans with you there as well?
There's one of the North Alabama guys is married to a lady that graduated from Eastern Kentucky, so she was there. I run into several Eastern Kentucky fans. Eastern Kentucky travels pretty good to the away game. You know what? Here, and let me try and be as thorough as I can, because the videos and the pictures that I put up on my X page just don't do the whole thing justice. Their band is one of the best bands on the planet. I should have stopped and had them do a drum solo or some mess while I was walking around there. Dude, it's just the food. Oh my gosh! I had a slaw dog. I don't even know what you put on a slaw.
Dude, come on, chili slaw dog.
No, wait, I don't know what it was, but it was fantastic. The best thing I do. Anyway, I've said enough. North Alabama is a sleeping giant in the FCS world, and when they get their facilities done, it's going to be cookies for everybody else, I imagine.
I believe it. I know several fans, and the fan base is super passionate. They have a history there. It's kind of what I wanted Kennesaw State to mirror, is start in the FCS level. And if you want to go up the FBS eventually, fine, but you probably could develop a fan base. As Brandon Haddock's checking in, develop a fan base first and then go up. Mustard slaw. All right, mustard slaw. Saying, so is that mustard and slaw? No chili, no nothing? Oh, Steve McKenzie's now in now. Now we're talking food. We're never going to get these games.
The lady handed me, she said, do you want a slaw dog? And I said, I must look like I'm hungry. So, yeah, that'd be fine. And when she handed it to me, hell, I didn't peek out all the whatever's on it. I just ate that joker, and it was
Hey.
fantastic.
Well, good, Coach. I'm glad you had a good time. I'm glad you met Brandon. That's awesome. I know it was a tough game to watch for as an EKU side of things, but beautiful day for football, and it looks like you had a good time.
Sure did.
Well, let's go ahead and get to our game recaps. We're going to keep this one a little bit short. We hope to have a big preview of the week number 9 coming up, because this is really 9, 10, and 11 for the weeks in the FCS are really where these conferences are going to separate, and you're going to start seeing playoff conversations happen. This one was a little bit off, but let's go ahead and get to some of the games that I think were of note. And the first one is it was Wofford dominating Furman. The reason I have this one in here is Furman's dropped way off. The Terriers delivered a fantastic performance there at Gibbs Stadium. Quarterback J.T. Fayard shined in his second career start with 18 of 25 passes, 129 yards, and 2 touchdowns. They generated 325 yards of total offense, 146 rushing, the 179 through the pass. The Terriers' offensive line achieved its first 0 sacks allowed. Well, how big is that? That's awesome. Whereas the defense had 3 interceptions, which is a season high. Javario Tinch had a 66-yard pick 6 in the fourth quarter. Coach Jackson, you got to wonder what's going on. This could be like a transitional game, because Wofford, that was down for several years, really just – and I was high on Furman. They did not show up, and Wofford dominated them. A big game for the Terriers.
Yeah, the bloom is kind of off the rose at Furman. And, they just a couple of years ago, they were league champions. They've just kind of fallen off a little bit. But listen, they're a good program. I don't see that they won't rebound. It just probably won't be this year. But I really don't know what's going on there. I know defensively they're down a little bit, but I had higher hopes for them this year too. It's just not working out right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So you want to see that team develop. There's a 21-6 halftime lead for the Terriers, and you're thinking, oh my, I'm glad we didn't pick that game, by the way. I really am glad we didn't pick that game. Oh, up next, we got Butler and the Flyers. It was, a big day for the Butler Bulldogs. They took a loss to Presbyterian last week. They showed up on the road at Dayton, and they had a big game. Quarterback Reagan Andrew was stellar. It was his first connecting through the air, racking up a 256 passing yard day. Both touchdowns for Butler came through the air, 78-yard rushing attempts for that quarterback. He's done a fantastic job completing 18 of 23 attempts. Ethan Loss hauled in a massive 67-yard touchdown in the first quarter, igniting the Bulldogs offense, and then they never looked back. 23-17, the Pioneer League. And Coach, I love, what's great is I love hearing from the fans, and they go, why we watch your show is because you talk about the Pioneer League and you talk about games that other people aren't talking about. And yeah, that's right, because it's football and it's good football. And congratulations, Butler. That was a huge win there at the top of the Pioneer League to defeat Dayton on the road.
And I'm glad to see him playing clean football. No turnovers, not a whole lot of penalties. The Pioneer League is playing some good football, and they got proof of it. They got wins over Furman. They got wins over Mercer in their league. So I'm going to keep beating the drum here a little bit later when we get to that Presbyterian Drake
contest later on. Yeah, it's going to be,
Yeah, could you literally, I'm going to keep beating the drum. They could get 2 teams this year.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Although they might, well, anyway, we'll talk about it. Well, because Presbyterian doesn't play some at the top, there could be an issue there. Right. All right, let's go ahead and get through some of this. We'll talk some other football stuff. This was the big one. Monmouth 44-30 over the Seawolves of Stony Brook. This one had some highlights there in that first quarter, where it was Monmouth jumping out to a lead. Derek Robertson threw for 3 first-half touchdowns, putting the Hawks up 21-14 at the break. Robertson finished with 204 yards, and those 3 scores spread the love to 7 different receivers. Trey Neal snagged 2 touchdowns passes, but Derek Robertson left the game in the first half and returned to the sidelines in a sling with an apparent injury to his wrist, arm, or elbow. We're not real sure, but it looks like it's a non-throwing arm injury, Coach. That was tough, but He handed the ball off to Frankie Weaver, who completed the game. Ryan Russo ignited the game explosively with a 50-yard interception return for a touchdown in the third quarter, making it a 28-14 lead for Monmouth. The defense forced four turnovers, holding Stony Brook to just one offensive touchdowns after halftime. Jaden Jones led the charge with 11 tackles and an interception, and Spencer Kishball had 11 stops and a sack. The running back, Rodney Nelson, who's a beast, had 141 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a 73-yard sprint to seal the deal in the fourth. Just a highlight for Stony Brook, they used 3 quarterbacks. Coach Chris Zealous is their starting quarterback. He had 132 yards rushing, but he also left with an injury. Casey Case and Quinn Boyd were the other backup quarterbacks, but Monmouth outscored Stony Brook 28-7 in the second half, showcasing their depth and still allowing 30 points. That's probably too many, but you get the win over a very, very good Stony Brook program, Coach.
Yeah, I'm going to quit harping on their defense because their defense has proven to be opportunistic. So okay. I know they're up over 400 yards all the time and giving up a lot of points, but them 4 turnovers is what makes the difference. And when they win, their defense is forcing turnovers. So I'm going to say they're they break a lot, but they don't break at the right time.
Yeah, critical. They don't make critical errors. Yeah, absolutely. I can get on board with that. Let's talk about Derek Robertson. Frankie Weaver came in and was 4 for 6, 61 yards, touchdown, didn't turn the ball over. Don't know a whole lot about that young man. I was texting with Chris Monstrongolo about maybe what's going on with Frankie Weaver. What do we know about him? And I think he's a redshirt freshman or sophomore. He's an underclassman. But other than that, we don't know a whole lot. How does that, in your mind, affect Monmouth?
Well, there's no way in my mind. There's no way that young man has the depth of the playbook that the starting quarterback has. So immediately that takes some of your offense off the board. Now, I think Monmouth is good enough offensively that they don't need their entire playbook. But you're going to need, if you make a deep run in the playoffs, you're going to need all your plays with you. So I'm hoping that their first string quarterback is able to continue to play, because if not, I think it takes a significant portion of their offensive game plan away. Now, if a half your offensive playbook still scores 50 points a ball game, you're in good shape.
Yeah. Well, I agree. And their concern is you can't force him back early. If it's a broken wrist, broken arm, 6 weeks, and that's into the playoffs. So you're going to figure something out. Hey, Bluebell's here. Sweet Elizabeth is just walking in the house. We got engaged this weekend, Coach. I was going to save to the end of the show, but Bluebell's come in, and we'll see if we can get her in here to say hello. But she's coming in. We're going to watch the Buccaneers. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. We're going to watch the Buccaneers and the Detroit Lions game here in just a minute. She brings her dog Bluebell over. Here she comes. Say hi. Here she comes. This is Sweet Elizabeth, everybody. We're live. Sweetie, wait, whoa, hey.
You can't hide money. You can't hide money.
Hi, bye.
Hey, she said hi, bye. All right, so yes. But Derek Robertson's injury could keep him out for the remainder of the season. Their schedule's favorable. You can rest him. Don't force the young man back. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Steve Hotchkiss saying congratulations. All right, moving through this, because now Sweet Elizabeth's here. You got to rush through some things. All right, this one was a bit of surprise, Coach Jackson. Youngstown State Penguins stunning upset over the 9th-ranked Illinois State. They had a strong start, 12-0 lead at the first half, 2 field goals, 2-yard run by Bo Brungard, who put this team on his back. This was 561 yards of total offense. Brungard had 200 yards rushing. He accounted for 6 touchdowns. I mean, this was 5 touchdowns. A fantastic game for Bo Brungard and Youngstown State. If they have an injury at the quarterback position, I think they got a big problem. But this is a huge win. Congratulations to Penguin Nation there, Youngstown State. Illinois State, some question marks are happening there. Thoughts on the game?
Congratulations to Doug Phillips and the Penguins. I hope it's the win that kind of propels the program 2 or 3 steps forward. That's a good win. 21 points in the fourth quarter, 560 yards overall. So it's a good show for them. That's the kind of Penguins team that the FCS needs to put a little pressure on some other folks.
Yeah. Yeah, Brandon Haddock picked that one. We'll talk about a game that I got a chance to pick. I was pretty proud of later in the broadcast, but that's a good pick, Brandon. Great job on that. Yeah, Youngstown State. Boy, it just makes you think about the MVFC. How many teams now are really, really going to be competing for those playoff spots? I mean, it's really going to be, yeah, down the stretch. It's going to be interesting. Another one that was interesting is North Dakota 38-19. I mean, I think we all picked South Dakota. Let me see. I have the pick somewhere around here. Oh yeah, here we go. I think we all picked North Dakota rather. No, Coach, you picked SIU. Sorry. Most of us picked North Dakota. This wasn't a surprise win. We thought DJ Williams was going to play well, and he did. It's not like he had a down game, but North Dakota putting up 38 points. Those 21 points in the second quarter. Running back Sawyer Seidel with 102 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns, and a receiving touchdown. Just too much for SIU. This could kind of get the how did they do that, the what the F kind of thing, how they won this game, Coach Jackson. But big win for North Dakota. The Fighting Hawks, they're on the road. That's not an easy place to play. It's a huge win.
Yeah, it sure is. And listen, I'm a believer now. There's a couple of programs that I'm going to start showing a little more love to, and that's North Dakota's one of them. In some polls, I've seen them ranked a little bit outside of the top 10, but I'm a believer that they're a top 10 program and moving in the right direction. So congratulations to them.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Chattanooga, 42-38. This was a back-and-forth contest, and then, Coach, 42 points in the fourth quarter. What? 42-38 total. This was a battle. Chattanooga ends up picking up the win, 42-38. Lots of offense in this one. Camden Orth had 343 yards and 4 touchdowns there for the Mocs. It looks like they found a young man who's kind of coming into his own and doing a good job. Congratulations to the Chattanooga Mocs program. ETSU still with Will Healy. Everyone expects him to kind of pick up the pieces there. It's going to take more than one season, and you're seeing that.
Yeah, you know what? I got to apologize to the fans in Chattanooga too, because I said that the Finley Dome, or their home field, is not really that big of a home field advantage, and I got to eat my words because they came back and won that ball game, and that's a good win for them. So congratulations to Devin Lively and congratulations to the Chattanooga Mocs.
It's a rivalry win. They have the rail rivalry where they have that big old, what's it called, railroad tie or whatever as a trophy. Yeah. So they're going to keep it. I think they said it is extends their win streak to 6 games over ETSU. So not much of a rivalry at that point. But good win for Chattanooga. Very happy for them. ETSU still finding some answers. SoCon continues to look like it's just doesn't have the horses this year. All right, this one was a bit close. Lots of question marks around South Dakota. And it was Zeke Mata drilling a 58-yard field goal, a program record 58-yard field goal right before halftime, proving to be the decisive score in the 17-14 win over Northern Iowa there in the UNI Dome. Coach, we said this one was going to be a tough place to play. Still question marks around South Dakota. Some people have them being dropped out of the top 25. It's a win, and a win's a win, but there's still question marks around this program. They didn't answer what I think some people wanted them to go in and blow out UNI. It's not a great football program. It's a tough place to play, though, and UNI put up a good show.
Dude, anytime you're playing this time of year on the road, it's a tough place to go. So, personally, I think it was what I think they need to clean up is in penalties.
Yes.
10 penalties. Listen, I think they're a good team. I think South Dakota is going to make it into the playoffs. You're not going to be able to go in with – you're not going to be able to do it with 10, 15 penalties every ball game. But I think they get a little bit better, a little bit more of an answer each particular week, and they'll be dangerous come playoff time.
Hey, congratulations to L.J. Phillips Jr. He becomes just the 3rd Coyote in the FCS Division era to surpass 1,000 yards in a season. But you see, 10 penalties for each team. South Dakota 3 for 12 on third down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big question marks.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the one I kind of wanted to brag about a little bit. 31-24, it was Southern Utah picking up the win over Abilene Christian. This is the one that I picked, Brandon. Very happy for it. Very happy for Delane Fitzgerald and this SUU football squad. They've been so close, Coach Jackson. They finally did it. Barron Taylor picks ACU in the first quarter. Joshua Dye erupts for an 18-yard touchdown run. It was 7-7 after one quarter. Second quarter, the Thunderbirds force a field goal to make it 10-7. Mikey Allen picks up and runs for a touchdown, making it 14-10. Third quarter, Southern Utah forced a fumble to start the half. Dye picks it up, an 8-play, 57-yard drive, touchdown, giving Southern Utah the 21-17 lead, and ACU took a 24-21 lead in the fourth quarter, but Jaden Rogers drilled a 19-yard field goal to tie the game 24-24, and then Bronson Barron finds Shane Carr with a 19-yard touchdown. Mason Stromstad steals a late touchdown for Southern Utah, and that sealed the game for the Thunderbirds. Abilene Christian, in the UAC, still looking for some things that are going to be showing that Keith Patterson's moving that team in the right directions. It seems like it's 2 step forwards, a step back, 2 step forwards, a step back for the Wildcats.
Well, UAC is a tough league. You're going to, outside of Tarleton, who's looking to try and run away with everybody, everybody else is kind of in that, everybody's competing for, I don't want to say everybody's competing for second place, but everybody is competing for that second, third bid out of that league. Yeah. You're going to see a lot. Congratulations to Coach Fitzgerald. He 4 turnovers against Abilene Christian is getting it done. So, congratulations. It's a well-needed win, too.
Yeah, it sure is. All right, we're going to go through some of these game bundles here, Coach, as we got this one. Tarleton at Memorial Stadium, record crowd 24,000 witnessed Tarleton State 8-0 and now 4-0 in the UAC, roll past number 23 in some polls. West Georgia 25-10. Tarleton remains undefeated. They're in the FCS. Tarleton continues to roll. They won 8 of their last 9 homecoming games, by the way. This was their homecoming day. That's a pretty tough schedule to book West Georgia. They didn't realize they were going to be that tough. But senior quarterback Victor Gabalis was back from injury, threw for 268 yards, 3 touchdowns. James Page racks up 106 yards rushing for a touchdown. And Trey Page III, no relation, had 92 yards and a touchdown. Gabalis had a highlight where he just trucked someone at the goal line and picked up a touchdown. Huge win for Tarleton over West Georgia. Coach, thoughts on this one?
Listen, Tarleton's a good ball team. They're definitely a top 10 team. I still got to see more. I like the win over West Georgia. Obviously, it's a tough place to play, but and you can only beat who's on your schedule. I get that, but I want to see Tarleton play somebody in the. I want to see Tarleton beat somebody that's in front of them.
Yeah, not many teams in front of them. I mean, they're getting the top 5 billing, so we'll see. We'll see how that one plays out. Another surprise, it was Eastern Washington picking up a win versus Idaho. Roos Field, rivalry delivered, a defensive gem as Eastern Washington knocked off the number 24 team, Vandals 21-14. First quarter, EWU starts the methodical drive. It took up a lot of time and then took the lead late fourth quarter. Idaho Mount had a late push, but it was not enough. Eastern Washington picks up the win there. East Texas 52-45 over Incarnate Word. I'm glad we didn't pick that one either. That's a little bit surprising of a matchup. Coach Jackson, happy for East Texas A&M, and Southland becomes another conference that's having some good football played over there, but no defense, good offense rather, no defense. Tennessee Tech over Lindenwood, that thought this one was going to be close. 17 points there in the second, 24 in the third for Tennessee Tech, 52-28. And then it was Sacred Heart? Yeah, the Pioneers put up a tough match for the Grizzlies. 43-21 was the final score there. William and Mary picks up a 26-21 win over Elon, and Lamar had to kick a late field goal to win this game against UTRGV 23-21. Well, I thought the Vaqueros had that one won, and it was Lamar came back and just wiping the sweat off their brow, picking up a win late 23-21, and then Sacramento State 40-35 over Northern Colorado. And of course, it was North Dakota State. No problems there, New Age. Sorry, no hat coming to you just yet, but we'll continue to talk football and maybe make some bets. Steve Hodges says ESPN keeps having West Georgia's record wrong. Yeah, I don't know. ESPN's got some issues with some of their statistics, and I don't know where that comes from, but it was interesting. Nicholas Mann on UTRGV. Yeah, they had a great freaking, they showed up against Lamar now. And first year program, you kind of think about those growing pains.
Dude,
taking a late loss is a growing pain, but they'll grow from it.
You know what? I don't know that you can even call it growing pains. I'm gonna have to start giving UTRGV a little bit of love. I keep saying they're gonna get run off the field, and honestly, they're not. So, what's the old saying? Lucky first to fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, or hell, can't fool me.
Fool me,
whatever.
Right. the old George Bushism.
Yeah. Listen, that program. I look at them kind of like I look at North Alabama. They're a little ahead on facilities right now, but the support and the love that they get right there, that program is fantastic. And I'm going to start showing a little more respect on this show because I think they've earned it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's jump into some stats that pop. Oh, there we go. Villanova quarterback. We can't afford, the pop, so we'll have to do. Villanova quarterback Pat McQuaid, 10 for 13, only 3 incomplete passes, 166 yards. That's not that important. 5 touchdown passes. Coach, he completed 10 passes, 5 of them for touchdowns. He had a quarterback rating of 311. I've never seen such a thing. It was unbelievable. Congratulations, Villanova, on their win. SEMO quarterback Johnny Weber, 21 of 31, 283 yards, 4 touchdowns. Bo Brungard, we talked about that young man, accounted for 528 yards, 5 touchdowns, 200 yards on the ground. North Dakota's running back Sawyer Siddell, 108 yards and 3 touchdowns. Chattanooga's Camden Orth, 343 yards and 4 touchdowns. Lindenwood, we talked about Nate Glantz. He had a good game, 294 yards and 4 touchdowns in the loss. Montana's Kelly Ayotte had 349 yards and 5 touchdowns. He also had a rushing touchdown, so account for 6 touchdowns for Ayotte. And then Montana's wide receiver Michael Wortham had 7 receptions, 132 yards and 2 touchdowns. URI's quarterback Devin Farrell in a friggin' blowout win, 333 yards and 4 touchdowns. Only had 1 incomplete pass, 19 of 20, coach, for Devin Farrell. Western Illinois quarterback Kaysen Carswell, 334 for 51, 375 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Northern Colorado quarterback, I forgot his name. It was Eric Gibson Jr. I didn't write it down, but it's Eric Gibson Jr. 32 for 33, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns. Sac State running back had 21 carries, 134 yards, and 1 touchdown. Carver Cheeks, the wide receiver for Northern Colorado, had 9 receptions, 223 yards, and 3 touchdowns. Penn's wide receiver Jared Robertson, 157 yards through the air, 3 touchdowns. How about VMI's quarterback, coach? We don't get to talk VMI very much. VMI quarterback Colin Shannon, 24 for 38, 419 yards, coach. 419 yards and 2 touchdowns. And a loss. I don't think
VMI throw the ball that much.
No. And you know who beat him? Samford.
Who's that? Wow.
Sanford got their first win against VMI, but allowed 419 yards through the air. But their wide receiver, when you have a good big day with the quarterback, it's Owen Sweeney with 13 receptions, 208 yards, big old stinking fat stats there, 101 touchdown rather. Davidson wide receiver Ivan Hoyt, 12 receptions, 148 yards. Colgate quarterback Jason Sterney, 23 for 39, 344 yards and a touchdown. And Colgate wide receiver Reed Swanson had 11 receptions, 183 yards, and a touchdown. Coach, for game picks, we had the FCS Untapped joining us. They went 9-6 on the week. You went 8-7 on the week, and Daddy went 12-3. Thank you very much. Yeah, the only ones I missed the Dayton pick, Illinois State, and Northern Colorado, and that was, I think, what me and FCS Untapped picked. All right, Buccaneers about to start. Yeah, go ahead.
This was literally a lucky weekend. You done got engaged. You done won the pick'em segment, dude. This is Nathan Day.
I know. I am. I'm blessed. And listen, it makes me confident I'm picking the right one with all these good game picks. I know Elizabeth's a winner. Yeah, Nicholas says, yeah, close. UTRGV's close with Southern Louisiana. Wouldn't it be great if they were playoff eligible?
Yeah,
you know, all those things, and yeah. But it's going to be fun. That keep building that program over there. Put some money in that program, and yeah, and you'll see. Western Carolina, final thoughts from our guys. And hey, Chris Monstroglo checking in. Final thoughts in the chat because we're going to wrap this one up. Western Carolina and Lamar escaped this week. Absolutely. Western Carolina had a really, really tough game. And it's a God, I need my dang readers. Hang on a second. I don't. You think RTG should be getting votes for the top? No, I don't think RTGV. I don't think they should be getting top 25 votes. And that's just because they're not playoff eligible. And I don't like when you waste votes on teams that aren't playoff eligible because of those, the playoff standing. Yeah, so that would be my thought, Coach Jackson. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I feel the same way with. I mean, honestly, I don't mean to cause a lot of any. I don't want to step on nobody's toes, but same thing with Jackson State. I wouldn't rank them because they're not going to the playoffs. I never ranked the Ivy League teams because they wouldn't go to the playoffs. But I don't think that the playoffs is really what RGV needs to be concentrating on right now. Tacos is one thing that they concentrate on pretty good, and they do pretty good. And right now, they're doing pretty good on the football field. They keep growing that particular program. They're actually going to become a destination for. I think they'll do great in the transfer portal. I don't think that their transition time is going to be nearly what it is for some other teams, and good for them.
Yeah. Chris Monstroglo asked a question. We think Monmouth can make it through the rest of the season until the playoffs undefeated without a quarterback. Yes. The schedule is extremely weak. I don't think Monmouth is going to have a problem going undefeated through the season. Frankie Weaver, I didn't get a chance to see him. And Chris, if you got any thoughts on how he looked as far as his poise in the pocket and so on, but there's no reason to rush Derek Robinson back. This schedule is extremely light, Coach. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, well, and here's the thing. I think they go undefeated, even if they don't go undefeated, they're solid in the playoffs, or I think they are, and they're a tough out with their quarterback. It might be a blessing in disguise. It may get somebody else prepared to play and prepared to lead that team in the event that they have to, and it makes them a little bit tougher to scout once the playoffs start too, because you're gonna have to scout two people, I believe.
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, Victor Gabalis coming back, I think, does the same thing with their quarterback, Daniel Greek, who stepped in and had a fantastic couple games. So one thing I did mention I want to talk about, Coach, and Chris Monstroglo checking in, Weaver looked good. A huge step down. Obviously, Weaver has a cannon for an arm. Okay, well, that's good to know. We're going to keep watching that. One thing I did want to mention is NCAA and USA Soccer are now talking. They want to have a promotion relegation standard for soccer at the NCAA level. Could that make its way to football? We're talking about this Division One, the distance between FCS mid-majors, the FCS, and mid-major group of 5 or 6, whatever you want to call it. Could promotion and relegation become part of college football? Coach Jackson, what do you think? I mean, they're talking about it at the NCAA level.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I assume that one of the reasons that they're talking about that is because that is the soccer way of life overseas and in the professional ranks. That'd be where would you relegate some of your FCS teams to? That'd be my first question.
You'd have to have some kind of regional something. I don't know how exactly it would look, but giving chances for a chance to up those teams into an FBS, a football bowl series that have more national attention and those things might just be a prize enough for teams to make a promotion, and then you get so the next thing you got $10 million in your bank account. Relegate North Texas, relegate Temple, relegate Rutgers when they were bad, those kind of things. I'm gonna look at this Nicholas man. I'm gonna check this thing out here. Sorry.
You'd have more coming back towards the FCS than you would have FCS being relegated up to the FBS level, I'd imagine. I wish that the top tier FCS teams would play some of the I guess lower tier G5, G4 teams, G5, whatever teams in some of your bowl games.
Okay.
I think that was fantastic.
Yeah. Nicholas, you are exactly right. UT RGV is eligible for the playoffs. So take that away. Go ahead and start voting on them. I thought they had a 2-year probationary period, but I was wrong. So I apologize. Chris Monstranglo says they are not. So yeah, it would be a scheduling nightmare. I'm not sure how you would do it, but I don't know. I think it would be interesting to be able to see, Yeah,
I've never known our RGV started from scratch. Mm-hmm. So I can't imagine that they're eligible for the playoffs. So, I'll do some work and see if I can find out. But yeah, I like the idea of relegation back and forth. I don't know how many of the FBS guys would really be looking forward to that. But dude, you could relegate UMass right now. But listen, I want the FCS not to try and replace teams like UMass. I want our teams to compete with we ought to compete with Conference USA and some of those. I don't see why we couldn't, but
Well, the landscape of Division I football is shaken. They're trying to figure out how they're going to be a share the wealth, allow players to make money off their image, name and image and likeness. And Nicholas Mann says that because they were never Division II, they jumped straight to the FCS. There is no probationary period. Hey, you know what? I'm a believer. I'm a believer, Nicholas. But listen, we're going to wrap it up there. Something to think of, something to chew on. Let's think about UT RGV getting some votes in that top 25. What an accomplishment that would be, Coach. Their first season getting some votes in the top 25. I mean, that is, I'll never forget when Kennesaw State got their first votes, and I'm thinking, let's go. And it was in their second or third year, if I'm not mistaken. So, good stuff. Final thoughts here on week 8 before we turn our focus strongly to this next weekend of games that look like it's going to be so much fun.
Well, just be thinking about how many teams the Pioneer League's about to get in the playoffs, and dude, I think we got a good schedule coming up. I'm excited about picking this week.
We do,
dude. I'm excited. It's a great time for football. It's a great time for the FCS. And dude, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait for the weekend.
It is going to be a great weekend. We'll be back on Wednesday night. Hopefully Brandon can join us. We'll try and get his thoughts on some of this stuff and have week 8 picks. It's the what would you call the horse race has begun for the finish line, and the starting pistol's been fired and ready to go. Week 9 coming up, Coach Jackson. It should be fun indeed. Thank you so much for joining us here on Monday night. I know it's a short one, but that's a wrap. It's kind of been a weird week. Thank you guys in the chat. Always love interacting with you guys. It makes it so much more fun to talk FCS football, and we're just finding some great fans all around the country that love FCS football. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you Wednesday night for another live broadcast. This is Been the FCS Checkdown for Coach Jerron Jackson. I'm Nate McCreary saying so long.